Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. We're outside in a 2007 Ford Explorer with a customer complaint of hardly any heat, is what they tell me. It's a complaint we get a lot this time of year. So right now, it's warming up out. It's 8 degrees. It's been in the negatives, so it's been -10, -15, plus a wind chill, all that stuff. And the reason I mention that is because when you get a customer comes in that has a complaint of little or no heat, you have to keep in mind a couple things. First, the vehicle could have a problem. You know, we could be dealing with a plugged heater core, you know, a leaky coolant system where the thing has no coolant in it, you know, bad thermostat, all kinds of things. But one other thing you have to keep in mind is the customer's driving habits. This lady I happen to know. She lives in town. Her job is about 6 to maybe 10 minutes away, depending on road conditions. You have to question your customer, do you warm your car up? Which we all know, huge debatable topic. You know, the internet tells you never warm your car up. It's foolish, you don't have to because we don't have carburetors anymore. I say if you don't warm it up, well, whatever, you're gonna drive in a cold car. At 8 degrees outside going 60 miles an hour down the road, you can't really expect your car to throw good heat in your 10-minute drive to work. Not to mention how awful it is for everything else, your engine not getting up to temperature, the condensation buildup from the hot to cold cycles. Me, I always warm my car up. I'm not going to make that topic though on the internet because you'd be the most hated guy in history if you say warm your car up because, you know, you're killing a polar bear or something. At any rate, we're going to drive this car. We're going to check to make sure the thermostat is operating. It does seem to be warming up slow. I grabbed a scan tool. Yes, you need a scan tool for this. There's a little code reader. What I have on here listed on our data pid list is engine runtime, coolant temperature, outside temperature, intake air, so we can look and see what are we dealing with. Thermostat, plugged heater core, or just the fact it's really freaking cold outside. Let's go for a toot. So this vehicle has front and rear AC. Now currently, coming out of the defroster is 109.2 degrees, which typically we're always running around coolant temperature. And I'm not sure with this probe is if that is true. I can't remember, or if that is with the infrared one. Now the engine, I did come out and start this to warm it up. Now this thing has been running for 22 minutes and it's at 154 degrees and it seems to be kind of hanging there, and you can see it is only 9 degrees outside. So I'm going to sit here for a few minutes. I'm going to hold it about 2,000 RPMs. I'm going to turn the rear heat off, and I want to see if we're going to build anything above 154 degrees, and then we're going to take it for a toot down the road and see if that holds steady or drops off, because if that's the case, you know, we're going to be dealing with a thermostat that is either partially stuck open, leaking, you know, something along those lines. All right, so it's been a few minutes. Got about 183 out of it, and that is with the front heater on, number 3. So we're talking almost a half-hour runtime. So let's go for a ride. We're blowing out of the dash about 135 degrees. So we're gonna go for a little shimmy down the road. See what it does, see if it falls like a rock. Now you gotta also bear in mind too, when you go out and start your car in sub-zero weather, it's only natural for us to get in there, start it up. You're gonna crank the front heat on high, you're gonna crank the rear heat on high, and you're gonna let it idle. I will tell you from experience, your car will hardly ever warm up. If it's below zero outside, and that's, you know, your habit, it's not gonna warm up, bottom line. Especially with a front and rear heater core, you know, the coolant's bypassing naturally to, you know, provide you with heat. But with, you know, a radiator under your dash, a radiator in the back, and that heat exchange, blowers on high, below zero outside, you'd have to let the thing run, if it would even ever warm up, for hours. So if you are in the mix of people that warm their car up, it's advisable for me, you know, turn the defroster on, but only turn the blower on, you know, 2 or 3 notches on the speed. That way there you're not, you know, pulling up all the heat out of it that it's actually generating. Particularly if you have like a little, you know, little 4-cylinder. I mean, my little Honda, she'll, that thing will never warm up if you turn the heater on high. It's not enough heat. Not enough heat transfer, I guess, or heat being built in the engine. So let's head down the road here. I want to do now is just make sure that the thermostat is working. And so we're cooking down the road. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, because I can't do both things at once, but we're running about 190, which is what I would expect. Again, though, we've had it running, I don't know, what, 28 minutes. Like I say, we get this complaint so much this time of year. Yeah, right now the outside temperature is 2, according to the dash. It's just a hard thing to explain to a customer. Nobody wants to warm their car up because, you know, waste gas or whatever, you know, whatever their reason may be, environmental concerns. A lot of the hoopla on the internet is if you warm your car up, it'll ruin your engine because of all the raw gas that's washing out the cylinders and whatever, dude. So let's see, we're about, where are we at? 183. Intake air and outside air, according to the computer here, is 7. We're running out of that. 140 degrees out the dash. So once we determine that the thermostat works, which I think we're safe to assume, if it was stuck open, you know, our temperature would be dropping like a rock right now. We're going to have to go back to the shop and see what this thermostat is regulated at. I'm assuming somewhere between, you know, 185 and 190, because that's where we're holding. So now that we've accomplished that, we see that the thermostat does appear to work fine. You know, it's not dropping like a rock. What I want to do at this point is see, you know, is the heater core plugged? So I'm going to turn the defrost on high and let it blow and see if it maintains its, you know, 140 degrees here. If they're plugged or partially plugged, our temperature will actually drop right off. We're going to turn it up on high and just kind of see where this stays. Right now it's at 137, 136. We'll see where that ends up holding. And it may have been at a slightly elevated temperature because I only had the fan speed on, you know, 1 or 2 notches. So I turn around, we're heading back to the shop. I know you guys probably can't see crap because I can't. 130 or 185, we've been running for about 33 minutes. We seem to be holding a pretty steady 130 degrees out. That is with the rear heat on full blast, front heat on full blast. We'll kick her back a notch. It is starting to get a tad toasty in here. Let's just go for the skin feel. See what it feels like coming out of the vent. I mean, it feels like 130 degree heat. I don't think we're going to benefit much from anything. Thermostat is obviously working. Turn this blower down before I cook myself. Thermostat's working. Outside temperature is 3. Almost 130 degrees out the dash pretty consistently. At the least, we could try a heater core flush. You might gain a little bit. Maybe worth the experiment just to see. But all in all, this is going to likely come down to the, you know, tell the customer in the 10-minute ride to work without warming it up, I would not expect much heat. My opinion, I think we can prove that fact. You know, this is the three rower, the third row back there. It's a big vehicle. It's a lot of cabin space to heat up. Give me your thoughts on warming up your car. Are you a car warmer upper?
Yeah. I got children, I make them go start it so it's warm when they get in.
That's what I call my remote start.
Yeah, he says, I started your car for you. It's more like, I sent the kid out to start the car for you.
That counts.
Yeah, well.
I should get sugar for that. But I was thinking of you
If
ultimately.
you get any more sugar, you'll be diabetic.
Ah, I know. So we were talking, maybe you don't know, that the most debatable topic on the internet today is, should I warm up my car? If I made a video on that, you're talking
cold.
500,000 views. I know, but
Cold.
people that live in Florida that do those videos don't understand.
No, don't. You should come to New York right now. You're gonna warm up your car.
You're gonna warm it up, let me tell you. And never you can shut it off. Alright, so what I think on this little guy, I think what we'll do, just for the sake of an experiment, is we'll flush out the heater core. Naturally, don't you even think about that one. You'll be laying in the snow laying out back. It's like ice. You're gonna get it. What do you think about that? I didn't get you. I think we'll flush the heater core, as I was mentioning, just to see. We're holding on an average about 130-ish going down the road with everything on high. It's plenty warm, but we'll do it for the sake of experiment, just to see.
What are you experimenting?
I'm trying to cap up here. Because the lady's complaining about no heat. So I explained to the viewers, cold weather, her 10-minute drive to work, not warming up the car because that's the proper thing to do, all that stuff. And we just show that after 30 minutes of runtime, what kind of temperatures you get, the amount of mass inside the car that you have heat. So
Man, that's super cold.
it's 2, it's warming up.
Super cold.
It's 2. So we're gonna use our power flusher. Used it in a lot of other videos. First I want to blow out the heater core. Now I add some water to it next. Ah, crap, the valve's broke. Oh yeah. Did a little too much extreme flushing. It'll work for what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna flush it both ways. Stick my hose down at the bottom. It's a messy job. Go back the other way. Seems to be flowing pretty unrestricted. Easy. Alright, we're in good shape. Ah, what a mess. I just like to throw a piece of plastic over the accessories, that way we don't get any coolant or water on the belt and end up with a belt squeal when we're done. Plug off the throttle body. Take off my extension hoses. I just keep these around for flushing heater cores. On this one, because it has rear heat, you have to be able to plug off the rear heater lines. So I did that. There's just one that runs to the back here. Well, there's two actually, but there's just one that you have to kink off. So I just use a pair of hose pinch pliers, pinch that off. That way when we flush it, it's not, you know, pushing all the water towards the rear. We'll get our heater hoses hooked back up. Fill it back up with coolant, which the coolant that's in the system is pretty clean. I'm going to put the, I'm going to clean out the air box more, put the air filter back in, put the snorkel back on, and we should be good. We'll go on another drive. All right, everything is back together and the coolant's full. So I've had it sitting here in the bay running, letting it warm up, letting it purge the air out, holding about 183. Now I did look up the regulating temperature on this. It should be around 190. I think it said it was full open at 195. Not surprised to see it at 183. You know, if we put a thermostat in it and get a couple more degrees of temperature, is it going to make that big a difference? I honestly don't think so. And you can see we're still about 133-ish out of the defroster. So we'll take it for a quick shake. There here we go. Had to wait for Mrs. O to get back from the post office, and there she is. Everybody wave. Wait. So we're one sitting here idling. We'll be right back. Don't miss us. Whoa! Everybody's falling over. Prop back up here. So right now we're 148 out of the dash. Engine temperature is 187. So we'll get out here on the big road and get her wound up and see what happens. We have to do the same type of experiment. It hasn't warmed up too much outside, so it's still 3 degrees. So that's good. So we have a good control. Now we'll turn the defrost on full blast again. Get her up to speed. See if we've made any noticeable improvements. Engine temperature right now is 189. Current vent temperature is 150. So we did make some improvement there. Let's just see. We'll drive a few miles here, leave everything on high, and see if we've made some improvements, see if it stays steady. So that seems to be the number it's pretty happy with. I don't know if you guys can see it, 147. It bounces between 147 and 148 after a mile or so. Engine's regulating somewhere around 185, 187, somewhere in that neighborhood. Now the thermostat is probably slightly skewed. It's hard to say, you know, because like right now, you know, it's what's that, 187. 3 degrees outside, or I guess it says 9 now. It's starting to become a real scorcher. Let me turn around here. You know, could we benefit a little bit more temperature from putting a thermostat in it? Possibly. Am I gonna recommend it? No. I mean, it's so close to the, you know, regulated temperature, you know, why bother? I mean, this could be deviation in the coolant temp sensor, you know, how it's reading. The fact is, it's 100 and whatever, let's see what it is, 148 degrees coming out of the dash. We can't do any better. We did make some improvement by flashing it, geez. and we reprogrammed it. By flushing it, we obviously had a temperature gain. This is just going to come down to a case of telling the customer, you know, we didn't get good heat until about 30 minutes of runtime. If they're not warming up their vehicle, they're driving, you know, 10 to 12-minute drive to work, whatever that is, you're not going to get good heat when it's below zero out. It's just a matter of fact. Fact of life. Turn on the seat heater and enjoy it, or waste a little gas, warm up your car is what it's going to come down to. So we're back at the shop. It is starting to turn into a heat wave outside. According to this, it is 10 degrees now. Vehicle's been running, 23 minutes after we flushed the heater core. We have made some improvements of, 10, 15 degrees, you know, temperature out of the vents. After driving the car, ambient temperature inside the car is 77, almost 78 degrees. Thermostat seems to be pretty happy around that 185, 187, 190 mark, somewhere in that neighborhood. Of course, just dropped 183. Can we make some improvements by putting a thermostat in it? Maybe. You know, that's a big fat maybe. I'll leave that choice up to the customer. I'm not going to be able to guarantee anything and say, you know, it's going to be better. Fact is, it's cold. So we're going to leave it at that for right now. Let me know what you guys do if you're in the shop and you have customers that come in with the complaint of, you know, little or no heat. What's your process of checking it? This is mine. Make sure the engine's warming up, get their driving habits. You know, obviously you have to compare it to outside temperature and see what's realistic. Look at the mass you're dealing with here. You know, the two heater cores, do they start it? Do they warm it up? Lots of questions to ask. And I'll just ask you to leave your questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, and methods down in the comment box below. Find us on our socials. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't, but tell us why. Find us on Patreon also. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.